Happy Wednesday, friends! Oh, today's card is another quick and easy, fun card using our Brights DSP and one of my favorite stamp sets that I think can sometimes be overlooked, but it's great for scrapbooking, it's great for card making, journaling, all kinds of fun things. So let's turn the camera down and get started. Okay, so today's card is another quick and easy, fun card using the Love This Moment stamp set. I think this one is way underlooked because it is good for so many things. It's great for journaling, scrapbooking, and of course card making. So today we're going to do a fun card that I saw in our online examples, and I changed it up a bit. It was my inspiration from the online, and I love how quick and easy this is, how simple it is, and how much it pops. So let's get started. I already cut all of our pieces that we're going to need today. So our designer series paper that we'll be using comes from our Brights collection. So these will be retiring soon, but I love them. I love the polka dots and the crosshatch designs, the hearts and the stripes. So very fun. I love the Brights because they really pop, right? So we'll take our card base here. We're going to fold that on that score line. Remember, all of the measurements for all our parts and pieces and all the step-by-step instructions I will email out if you are subscribed to my weekly Buzz Bulletin. So you'll want to make sure you do that in the description below. You can also check out my blog on stampinqueenbee.com, and all of our past projects and measurements and printable free PDFs are on there as well. Okay, so with our base here, we folded that on the score line. We're gonna burnish it so it sits flat for us. We're gonna take our liquid glue here, and we're just gonna adhere our first piece of designer series paper down. So we're just gonna put this on the left, and we're just gonna kind of center that so we have the same border on both sides. And we'll set that aside, and we're gonna do some Stampin' now. So with a couple of scraps, we'll do the first part of our Stampin' here. So we're gonna grab some Memento black ink and this beautiful bouquet, we'll call it, of flowers. So we're just gonna get that, ink that up, and stamp. This is just a scrap. We're gonna fussy cut this out. So we'll just go ahead and stamp a couple while we're at it here. It's usually what I do so that we have a extra for our next project, right? Okay, so we'll set that aside. We're gonna let that dry here for a second. I've got a circle out of basic white that I punched from our 2 3/8 circle punch. And so we're gonna be using some Melon Mambo. So we'll just go ahead and open that up, and we're gonna use this happy. I love these great big sentiments. So there's smile, there's happy, and then we're just gonna stamp this right down in the middle there. Perfect. And we'll set that aside. So it's got all of these, or these two big sentiments, and then all of these little sentiments that you can pair with this. So you could be, you know, happy memories. You could say smile, say cheese. That'd be great for scrapbooking, right? All kinds of things that you could put together. So on this scrap, we're going to use the one that says notes. And so we're just going to ink that up in Melon Mambo. And we'll just stamp a few of these. We only need one for this project, but if a few fit on my scrap, then I always do a few extra, right? So we'll just go ahead and close this up. We're gonna take our scissors now, and we're gonna do a little bit of fussy cutting. So with these notes that we did, so we're just gonna cut one apart here, and we're just going to cut all around it, and we're gonna take off the S. So sometimes you could make your sentiments what you want them to be, right? So we're just gonna make a happy note here that we would send out to someone. So all I'm doing is trimming this up, and then we'll be left with our note sentiment. So we'll put that aside there. And get rid of our excess. Then we've got our flowers bouquet here. And so we're just gonna also fussy cut this. So it's a really easy design to fussy cut, which I like, because if you're gonna fussy cut, you don't want it to be too hard, right? So you can quickly just go around this, leave a bit of a white border. And you can always cut a little bit more of that border off if you want. I like mine on this a little bit wider, so we'll save that other piece for later. And now we're gonna do some coloring. So we're gonna use our blends, and since we're using Granny Apple Green and Melon Mambo for our colors in our DSP, we're gonna do the same thing in our flower here. So let me zoom the camera in a bit. There we go. So you can see this. So I like to start with the dark in my blends. So these are alcohol markers. There are Stampin' blends. And so I'm just gonna go along these flowers with my dark Melon Mambo, just kind of in those accent areas that Stampin' Up, the designers, right, already put in our images. So kind of those outside lines and any shadows that they might have put in there, anywhere there's black, really, right, where we stamped it in. Okay, and then the same thing for these little flowers here. We're just gonna put in the middle a tad bit of the dark. Okay. Then we're gonna bring in our light. And for this one, I'm gonna use the brush tip end. And so I'm just gonna go kind of circular motion with those and blend that all together. So you can leave a tiny bit of white space, because as this blends, it will kind of seep out into your design, right? And blend everything together. It's an easy image to color, right? Okay, so we'll let that dry. We'll work on our leaves now. So I'm gonna start with the dark Granny Apple Green with the bullet tip end again. And the same thing on those darker lines, right? We're just gonna go over those and add some darker color. You can go along the stems if you like, of these little leaves. You could even do the outside if you wanted to. Then I'm gonna take the light, and again with the brush tip end, just gonna go kind of circular motion and not all the way to the edge. So I want that to be able to blend out, right? So I do all my bigger ones, and then for my littler ones, you just need a very small little stroke. Perfect. And now I'm gonna go back in with my dark again, with that bullet end again, and just add just a tiny bit more to these bigger leaves, just so that we really see that definition there. And then going back in with my dark melon mambo. And that bullet end again. We're just gonna give it just a tiny bit more accent in these. And how easy is that? So we've got our image all colored, and you can really see how those blends give it just a little bit of and then some, right? And then we're gonna take, you know I like sparkle, so we're gonna take our Wink of Stella, which is back in stock, yay! And just to these bigger flowers here, and even if you wanna do just a tiny bit in the little ones, just to give them a little bit of added sparkle there. Okay, so let's pull this back up. And let's finish putting this card together. So we've got our other piece of our melon mambo here. Just gonna take a tiny bit of liquid glue, just kind of right on this right side here. And we're gonna attach our circle that we stamped with our happy. Then we're gonna take our note and we're just gonna add just a little bit here of our liquid glue. And we're just gonna put this note right below to the right of happy. So it's just gonna be a happy note that we're sending someone. Okay, so then we're gonna take this and a little bit of our Stampin' Dimensionals. We're gonna put these on the back here first. I like to do this first so that I know where my space is here, because we're gonna take some of our twine. I love this twine. This is that in color twine. It's actually Parakeet Party, but look how great it goes with our Granny Apple Green, right? So we're gonna take this and we're just gonna wrap this around that center. You can go a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, whatever you like. And then we're gonna take our scissors here, and I designate one for my ribbon. So I just put a little charm on it. Then I know those are always for my ribbon. Then I have another pair that I use for when I'm cutting paper, right? Then we're just gonna take this, we're just gonna make a bow, easy bow. There we go. You can adjust that once it's tied. If you don't want it quite as long. And then I'll cut the ends off once we attach it here. So we'll go ahead and take the backings off of our Stampin' Dimensionals here. And then we are almost done. This is a quick and easy card, even with our coloring. I'm just gonna center this right on. Stick that there. And then now we can adjust our bow here. So if it's a little bit, if we want it a little bit more, a little bit less, I know our strings are a little bit long here, so I'll go ahead and trim those up so that they're even. And then we will take some more Stampin' Dimensionals, and so we're gonna put this over. So we only want our dimensionals to be on the back up here, right? Not down here. So I'm gonna flip that over. I'm just gonna put my dimensionals up on the top here. And then we'll center that over where we want it on our happy. Make sure they're not sticking out above our card there. And we've got our cute happy note card. We of course need a little bit of bling, so I'm going to use the iridescent discs, and there are these beautiful green ones here. And so I'm just going to put 2 of these down below, and we'll do 1 up here. And there you have our happy note our happy note that we can send. I love how bright and happy that is, how fun it is, and I really love how quick and easy that is. So thanks so much for watching, and be watching for the Buzz Bulletin this week with all the measurements and the step-by-step instructions for today's card, or you can check it out on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. I'll see you guys next week.